Gregory Foster stared at his computer screen, then at the 10-year-old boy standing beside it with a notebook full of handwritten code. "Mr. Foster, someone's been stealing from you for months, but I stopped them." The words didn't make sense. Couldn't make sense. This was Noah, his housemaid's kid, who did homework in his kitchen. Not a security expert, not a professional, just a child. "You stopped? What are you talking about?" "The cyber attack. I found it, fixed it, saved your company." What do you do when a 10-year-old knows more than your entire security team? And what does it say about us when we almost ignore the person with all the answers? Stay with me. This story will change how you see potential and where you look for it. Gregory Foster built his tech company from absolute zero, started coding in a studio apartment, surviving on ramen and ambition. The climb was brutal and beautiful. First investor who believed, first employee who took a chance, first million that felt like validation, first office tower that screamed success. The gleaming high-rise became his fortress. 37th floor, glass walls overlooking a city that respected him. A company that bore his name and his vision. Unstoppable, visionary. The entrepreneur everyone wanted to be or be near. His pride wasn't arrogance. It was earned. Every late night, every risk, every sacrifice that built something from nothing. Then everything collapsed. The market crash hit like an earthquake. Economic downer meeting industry disruption in a perfect storm of devastation. But that alone wouldn't have destroyed him. The betrayal did. His business partner, someone he'd trusted for years, had been embezzling, siphoning money, manipulating accounts. The discovery came too late to prevent the damage. Frozen accounts, mass employee exodus, legal notices piling up like accusations on his desk. Weeks. That's all it took to transform triumph into ruin. Gregory's mental state fractured. Despair mixed with pride in a toxic combination. Too proud to ask for help. Too lost to find his own way out. The office emptied around him. Desks cleared. Phones went silent. Everyone abandoning the sinking ship. Colleagues who'd celebrated his success suddenly had other commitments. Friends who'd enjoyed his generosity stopped returning calls. Employees who'd sworn loyalty scattered to competitors. Everyone left. Everyone except June. Have you ever watched someone successful lose everything? Or been that person, wondering how it all fell apart so fast? Gregory sat alone in his fortress, surrounded by the scattered remains of his empire, and couldn't see the lifeline standing quietly in his kitchen. June Williams had worked for Gregory Foster for 7 years. Single mother, working multiple jobs before landing this one. Her role was simple: maintain his home, keep things running, exist as that invisible consistency successful people depend on without really seeing. Gregory barely knew her story, never asked about her struggles or dreams or the brilliant son she was raising alone. He just knew she was reliable, professional, there when needed, which, to his credit, was more respect than many employers showed. When the collapse came, when everyone scattered, June stayed. Even when her paychecks became uncertain. Even when she had every reason to find stable employment elsewhere. Even when staying meant risking her own financial security. Gregory finally asked her why. "You treated me with respect when you didn't have to," she said simply. "Years ago, when my car broke down and I couldn't afford repairs, you just handled it. Didn't make me beg. Didn't make me feel small. I remember that. One moment of human decency. One act of kindness from years past. Creating loyalty that would save his life." Her son Noah visited after school. 10 years old. Quiet, observant, brilliant in ways adults rarely noticed because they weren't looking. He did homework at the kitchen table while his mother worked. Watched Gregory's despair with concerned eyes. Listened to his mother's worried phone calls about unpaid bills and uncertain futures. Noah was teaching himself coding from library books and YouTube videos. Building computers from salvage parts. The kind of kid who sees patterns others miss. Who solves problems before adults even recognize them. He watched his mother worry. Watched a good man drown. And decided to do something about it. While Gregory was drowning in despair, a 10-year-old was plotting his rescue. The opportunity came through Gregory's failing computer systems. Constant crashes, security warnings, system slowdowns that made everything harder. Gregory was too overwhelmed to address technical issues, too defeated to care that his technology, the foundation of his tech company, was falling apart. Noah approached him one afternoon. "Mr. Foster, can I look at your computer? I'm good with tech stuff." Gregory barely glanced up. "Sure, kid. Whatever." Not taking him seriously. Just humoring June's son. What could a 10-year-old possibly accomplish? Everything, it turned out. Noah's sleepless nights began. After school, he stayed late while his mother cleaned. Dove into Gregory's systems with permission, but no supervision. No one watching. No one expecting anything. What he found shocked him. Patterns of professionals had missed. Unusual network activity. Hidden processes running in the background. Data bleeding to unfamiliar servers. A cyber attack. Sophisticated. Ongoing. Devastating. Not just a partner's betrayal. Something additional. Someone exploiting the chaos to steal more. Siphoning funds. Extracting proprietary data. Millions in losses Gregory had attributed to market collapse were actually theft. Noah stared at his screen. 10 years old, suddenly holding information worth millions. Most kids would panic. Noah focused. He spent nights researching attack vectors, studying similar cases, teaching himself advanced security concepts in days that took professionals years to master. His notebook filled with handwritten code and diagrams, evidence of genius hiding in a child's body. The solution formed in his brilliant young mind. Simple but elegant. A security patch that blocked the attack vector completely. He implemented it without fanfare. Just quiet competence. The data bleeding stopped. System stability returned. Ongoing theft halted immediately. Noah closed his laptop, exhausted and exhilarated. Now, he just had to convince an adult to listen. Comment below. Have you ever been underestimated because of your age? Or underestimated someone who surprised you? Evenings settled over the house. Gregory shuffled through paperwork at his desk. Scattered remains of his former empire. Financial statements that made no sense. Legal documents he couldn't afford to fight. Noah approached tentatively. "Mr. Foster, I need to show you something." "Not now, Noah." Gregory's voice was hollow. "Empty. It's important. About your company." Something in the boy's voice made Gregory look up. Urgency. Certainty. Too much knowledge in eyes too young. "Someone's been attacking your systems," Noah said, calm and clear. "Stealing money. I found them." Gregory's initial reaction was confusion, then dismissal. "Noah, that's not your 10. How could you possibly?" "I can show you. I stopped them. But you need to see this." The computer screen told a story Gregory couldn't comprehend. Attack patterns highlighted. Data flows mapped with precision. A security patch running. Active, functional. Saving him. "This can't be right. My team looked at this. Professionals looked at this." Noah's quiet response cut through his disbelief. "They were looking for the wrong thing. I wasn't." Gregory's hand shook as he called his remaining tech team, the ones who'd stayed out of loyalty or desperation, or both. "I need you to verify something. Now." The video call lasted 20 minutes. Gregory watched the senior developer's face transform from skepticism to shock. "Sir, whoever wrote this code, it's legitimate. More than that, it's brilliant. This attack has been running for months. We completely missed it. This patch, it's genius-level work. The kid did this." Another voice off-screen. "A 10-year-old? The confirmation landed like thunder. Noah's solution was real. Had halted millions in ongoing losses. Identified the attack vector no one else caught. Gregory stared at this child who'd saved him, while he'd been lost in despair, barely noticing, while he dismissed and underestimated. A 10-year-old had accomplished what an entire company couldn't. He got down on Noah's level. Literally knelt down to meet his eyes. "Noah, you saved my company. You saved me. How can I possibly thank you?" Noah's answer was simple. Pure, "Help my mom. She's been worried." The changes started immediately. June's new role came with a contract Gregory wrote himself. Full-time position. Benefits that reflected her loyalty, not just her labor. Salary that acknowledged years of dedication through crisis. You stayed when everyone left, Gregory told her, tears in his eyes. That matters more than you know. Noah became Gregory's first youth tech apprentice. Not charity, not a publicity stunt. Recognition of genuine, extraordinary talent that happened to exist in a 10-year-old body. After-school program, Noah learning from actual engineers. His questions challenging even senior developers. His solutions elegant in their simplicity, unburdened by assumptions about how things should work. The rebuild began on different foundations. Noah's security fix attracted attention. Industry buzz spread. Did you hear about Foster's comeback? About his new security protocol. Investors grew curious. Media picked up the story. Then the twist emerged. The protocol was written by a 10-year-old. The narrative was irresistible. But more importantly, it was real. Genuine innovation from an unexpected source. Proof that genius doesn't wait for credentials or permission. Within months, Noah's design launched a new division. Youth-focused tech education and development. Mentoring other overlooked talents. Kids from underprivileged backgrounds given real opportunities, not just feel-good programs. Jobs were saved. Dozens of employees rehired. The company rebuilt not just on profit, but on purpose and potential. Gregory's perspective shifted permanently. Pride replaced by humility. Success redefined, not what you accumulate, but who you elevate. Noah's impact rippled outward. Other companies created youth apprentice programs. A scholarship fund bore his name. Recognition spread that genius doesn't wait for age-appropriate milestones. Media interviews asked Gregory about his comeback strategy. His answer never varied. I stopped assuming I had all the answers. Started listening to people I'd overlooked. That 10-year-old taught me more about leadership than any business school. The gleaming office tower still stood. But it meant something different now. Not a fortress of solitude, but a launching pad for potential. For Noah, for other kids like him, for anyone brave enough to believe their ideas matter regardless of their resume. If you believe in recognizing talent wherever it appears, hit that like button. Subscribe for stories about unexpected heroes. The question haunted Gregory in the months that followed. What else had he missed? How many Noahs existed in the world, unnoticed? How many times had he dismissed potential because it didn't arrive in the package he expected? The humbling truth crushed him with its weight. His pride had almost cost him everything. Not just his company, his chance at redemption. Salvation had been standing right there in his kitchen, doing homework, and he'd barely noticed. June's loyalty revealed something deeper. She'd stayed not because of money, but because of memory. One moment of respect years ago, helping with her car repairs without making her feel small, had created a bond that saved him. The ripple effects of small kindnesses. We never know which moment will echo back when we need it most. Noah's motivation hadn't been ambition. It was love, wanting to ease his mother's worry. Genius motivated by compassion, not recognition. The most powerful innovations often spring from the purest intentions. Gregory's mission transformed, creating opportunities for people others overlook, for talents others dismiss, for potential others don't recognize because they're looking in the wrong places with the wrong assumptions. His company became something new, not just about what they built, but who they built up. Noah's story inspired countless others. Kids seeing themselves in him, adults questioning their assumptions, communities rethinking how they identified and nurtured talent. The simple, profound truth: salvation arrives in unexpected forms. Sometimes it's a maid who stays when everyone leaves. Sometimes it's her 10-year-old son with a notebook full of code. Sometimes it's the person you almost didn't see because you weren't really looking. Who in your life have you underestimated? What talent might you be missing because you're looking in the wrong places? Here's what Gregory learned in the hardest way possible. Potential doesn't wait for permission or credentials. It exists in unexpected places, unexpected people, unexpected moments. And it will pass you by if you're not humble enough to recognize it. The professionals miss what a child caught. not because Noah was smarter, though he was brilliant, but because he looked without assumptions, just curiosity and determination. June stayed because Gregory once showed respect. One human moment years ago created a bond that saved his future. We never know which small kindness will matter most, which moment of basic human decency will echo back when we desperately need it. Gregory's pride almost prevented him from accepting Noah's solution, almost dismissed the very person who held the answer. Pride blinds us to help, especially when it arrives from sources we've been taught to overlook. So look around you. Really look. Who are you not seeing because they don't fit your expectations? What 10-year-old genius is doing homework while you ignore their potential? What loyal person stayed when others left? And have you truly noticed? True legacy isn't measured in bank accounts or office towers. It's measured in who we lift up, in opportunities we create, in potential we recognize and nurture. Gregory's high-rise once represented success, but his real legacy is Noah and dozens of kids like him, given chances they wouldn't have had, proving that genius exists everywhere. We just have to be humble enough to see it. Today, Noah is 13, leading a team of young developers. Gregory watches with pride, not in himself, but in them. The boy who saved a millionaire is now saving others, showing the world that salvation comes in the smallest, most unexpected hands. And all it required was one person humble enough to listen. If this story inspired you, share it with someone who needs to see their own potential. Comment, who's the most unexpected hero you've ever met? And subscribe. We're telling stories that reveal greatness in overlooked places.